My name is Sarah. I have been teaching now for 7 years. I started teaching in 2011. I did my teaching qualification in International House, Budapest. Then from there I went to work in Cairo, and then a stint in Russia and in Madrid, and then again back here to Moscow. Okay, so to become a teacher, there's a couple of different options. I chose to do the CELTA in International House, which is the Cambridge teaching certificate. It's a 4-week course, and you do go in every day and you do 6 hours of teaching practice, which you get graded on. So you have a pretty good idea about what your strengths and your weaknesses are as a teacher. The qualification wasn't overly difficult, but it requires learning a lot of new stuff. You really learn a lot in your first year of teaching. That really gives you a baptism of fire. I've taught in obviously Russia, Spain, Egypt, Poland, and very briefly, but only during my qualification, Hungary. As for visiting, I try to visit a new country every year. So yeah, I've been to lots and lots of Western Europe, not so many in Eastern Europe, not so many in Central Europe, the United States of America and Egypt. They're really funny. They kind of tell you really strange things, which is really fun. Things that you don't expect, like they'll come up to you and say, hey, it was my cousin's birthday yesterday and we did this. It's like, okay, cool. And you can also see their progress. Like, you take a kid from not knowing anything and suddenly by the end of the year you're able to have a conversation, and that's really cool. And they're less shy than adults. Adults get really worried about making mistakes. I do. I always remember one little tiny kid crying, and I was just like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with her? And I thought it was a big disaster, and I took her through to someone who spoke Russian, and they're like, no, she's lost her folder. So I decided to come back to Russia after giving it 9 months and having a really difficult time, because I didn't think I really gave Russia my best effort. I had a bit of bad luck, like a series of bad luck, and there was so much of Russia. I mean, it is a massive country. There was so much of this country that I just didn't see. And I looked at a map at where I'd managed to travel, and it was like Moscow region. And I thought, wow, I've seen so much. And then you realize, oh no, there is the world's biggest country with all these natural, beautiful things to see. Also, I was working in a really large English centre in Madrid, and it was very difficult to get a promotion. It was very difficult to do anything other than be a regular teacher. So this job gave me the opportunity to at least explore professional development in a way that I wasn't going to be able to do there. So that's the main reasons why I came back. I don't eat it because I don't eat dairy, but the fact that ice cream is sold in winter in those kiosks on the street, that cracks me up. I hate dill. I am part of a Facebook group that calls it the devil's weed, and Russians love their dill. It's a thing, but I personally can't stand it. And I like pilmeni. And this particular job has given me the opportunity to teach English through other subjects, more CLIL based. So I've been able to teach through science or through history or through talking about other things, and I think that really makes English more than just this dead subject that you take at school. It's like, oh, okay, I can communicate using this language, or I can learn about something using this language. And I think that's been a really good professional thing for me, and I'm proud of being able to do that. The most rewarding parts of working with kids is when you've got this kid that suddenly knows how to speak English. One of my students last year has said, you know, I can speak English now. And that was really cool, just him having this realization that he has this skill. Other than that, I really like cooking. I really like traveling. I love reading. I don't get a lot of time to read. I don't get as much time as I like. I don't travel on the metro so much anymore. You can read and walk, but you will fall over. I also make clothes and things for the house with my sewing machine or knitting, which means my boyfriend calls me a babushka in training. I also have a dog, and he's cool, big furry beast, and I love Moscow's parks. The big forest parks on the outskirts of Moscow are brilliant. We still haven't explored all of them, and I have been here for 2 years. I do enjoy learning languages, although I am probably a really bad student. With Spanish it's really easy. I can just watch something or read something in Spanish and just keep that going. Russian, no, I'm just a bad student with Russian. It's no excuses.
So, я люблю пропонувати.